We will start with the definition. So IR is a relationship between management and employees or among employees and their organizations that characteristics and grow out of employment. So it comes out of employment. So IR may be defined as the complex of interrelations among workers, managers, and government. So it is also known as employee relations, labor management relations, and labor relations. So the relationship between employer-employee, employer-employer, employee-employee, all these will come under industrial relations. And let us now examine the characteristics of IR. So this is an outcome of relationship in industry. So IR creates rules and regulations to maintain peace and harmony. And the important parts of HRR or IR are employees and their organizations, employer and their association, and government. So it has a role of management, union, and government. So the very purpose of industrial relations is to establish what is known as industrial democracy. That is the ultimate aim. Because the ultimate aim of all this is to ensure that our productivity of the workers increases. So you must understand that in India, the industrial productivity is one of the lowest in the world. Even a worker's productivity, if you compare with that of America, an American worker's productivity is 12 and a half times higher than that of an Indian worker. That's the sad reality. So in India, the poor industrial relations are on account of several factors. Militant tactics. And finally, what happens is that the industries will be forced to shut down. It happened during the infamous textile strike of Bombay. So finally, lakhs of people lost their jobs, and the owners of textile mills, they sold their land and made money from real estate, and only workers suffered. And the leader of that strike was Dr. Datta Samant. And after that strike, then another big strike in Telco, the Rajan Nair. And after all these, then the famous railway strikes, finally what happened? Once employees or Indian workers thought that they could decide the fate of industries in India. And after 1991, the economy made bigger strides and economy went towards globalization and all. The workers realized that if they continued their militant tactics, that would only result in their downfall. And this realization came late, especially the workers' militancy went to cynical heights in Kerala as well as in Bengal. Now, later, when workers realized that they also should contribute if they wanted industry to survive. So it is high time that unions should realize they are also partners in this. Well, if the workers work and ensure high productivity, then only that would result in higher income for management. And later they can claim a share of that profit. If the industries cannot make profit or they don't break even, how industries can pay big amounts to workers? And again, there was another problem which is plaguing Indian industries. Many outsiders who have got political support, they become leaders of unions. And they have got political ambitions. They are not very keen in improving the working conditions of laborers. And they have got only political gains in mind. So they would exhort workers to go on strike. And once the strike starts, then at times the employees immediately resort to lockout. Then this strike, this will be referred to tribunals and all. Then the negotiations will start, and sometimes the conflict will be resolved, and at times the employees will close down that particular unit. So a classic example of this happened. There was a company called South Indian Viscose in Coimbatore. And South Indian Viscose was the third largest producer of viscose staple fiber. And viscose employees even got a bonus up to 60%. The minimum bonus in India is 8.33%. That is 1 month's salary. When South Indian Viscose even paid up to 60% bonus. But on account of some pollution-related issues, Tamil Nadu Pollution Control Board ordered closure of South Indian Viscose. And South Indian Viscose, rather than containing pollution, approached the Supreme Court and started a legal battle. Finally, the Supreme Court ordered permanent closure of South Indian Viscose. Per day, they incurred a loss of about 3 crores. Once upon a time, the Sirmugai, where the factory was located, was a prosperous small township. Today, it looks like a graveyard. So all the workers lost jobs. See, just because the workers also were also responsible, they also went on strike. And finally, workers were not alone responsible. The greed of the management was also responsible for this. And the environment minister, who was a former leader of the agitation, that is, the local people formed a organization called Bhavani River Protection Council. And they went against the management. And finally, to make it short, the company was forced to close down. So this is how the militant trade unions, with the help of politicians, damage industries and spoil the industrial relations. Now, of late, even trade unions realized that they have to play a creative role in maintaining industrial peace. So industrial peace is a prerequisite for a good industrial relations and a peaceful industrial atmosphere. Now militancy is slowly coming down because when the bargaining power of trade unions are declining day by day, if the basic factor to be considered for payment of decent wages is the industry's ability to make profits. Now, people working in IT industry, so they are paid good salaries because they make decent profits. Now, under Bonus Act, the minimum bonus payable is 8.33%. So even if the industry is not making, or even if the company is not making any profits, the statutory bonus has to be given. The maximum bonus which can be payable under Indian Bonus Act 1965 is 20%. And if any company wants to pay more than this, they can pay this as an ex gratia payment. That is, payment given out of gratitude. So then it is not covered under Bonus Act. So the minimum bonus payable is 8.33%, that is 1 month's salary. And why, if the company is not making any profit, why employees should be given bonus? Actually, bonus is a deferred payment. When an employee works for 12 calendar months, he earns wages for 13 months. And he is only paid for 12 months, and the 13 months salary is being paid as bonus. So it is a deferred payment. Which is paid from what is called allocable surplus. So now we have examined the characteristics of IR. So it has got three players, that is the employees and their unions, government, and the employer. And let us examine the role of trade unions in IR. The first is the trade unions want to get higher wages for their members. To offer responsive cooperation in improving level of production discipline. Another one is discipline. It is the duty of unions to ensure that the employees adhere to a code of discipline. Then they have got also another role to promote, to ensure welfare of workers through collective bargaining. Then they also have to improve work and living conditions. Then, so they should work towards enlarging the opportunities of promotion and training. Then, role of employees organizations. Just like employees joining unions, employees too can form organizations, or they can also make or can also form federations or their unions, and their primary role is to promote and protect the interest of employees engaged in industry, trade, and commerce. Then they have to act as a bridge between government and industry. They have to train and develop staff members of concern, members of associations. Then let us see the examples of employees organizations. Then Associated Chamber of Commerce, ASSOCHAM. Then Commerce. Then IUI, International Organization of Employees. These are some of employees organizations. Then some of the prominent unions. See, Union Congress, INDUC, Indian National Trade Union Congress, then we have got CITU, Center of Indian Trade Unions, supported by Communist Party of India, Marxist, AITUC by CPI. Then we have got BMS, Bharatiya Mazdoor Sangh, Mazdoor Kisan Panchayat. So there are HMS, are framed by ILO, and we have successfully adopted ILO resolutions. So, in the International Labour Organization was established in 1919 on April 19 by Versailles Peace Conference. India became a member by ILO in 1919.